Hello guys, Seven Trades once again, and I'm back with another trade recap on the trades which I took yesterday on 11th of September 2025, which is USD JPY and NAS 100. And let's get right into it. They were the trades which I took post CPI release, and one USD JPY was break even and NAS 100 was a loss. I want to go through my thought process on how I took them and how I managed them and what you can learn from what I did. So starting with the USD JPY, you can see that we were in a tight range on the daily time frame, stuck between this daily fair value gap and these external lows right here. So seeing that, how we opened the week, this candle right here was on Monday. We opened high, we didn't sweep any relevant swing high. We first dumped lower towards the Tuesday 8:30 and rejected a low right here. So my thought process was that we were maybe not done yet because we still had a lasting liquidity to the buy side. We already rejected the lows right here, so I was still expecting the bullish momentum to take out at least the Monday high, which was not an established high of the week for me. Another thing was that if we go to the low time frame, I had bullish buy confirmation, specifically after the 8:30 on Tuesday. You can see that on Wednesday, you can see that on Tuesday we opened, made the low, made the change in state of delivery right here, and on the Wednesday we simply dilated and retested that change in state of delivery into the hourly fair value gap right here. You can see it, even though it's not as clear as I wanted it to be. I should have annotated that, and I simply got into this market long right here on the 9 open, even though it started slamming lower, but there was an SMT with DXY right here. I anticipated this low to hold at least through the news. So I was expecting the price to reach at least 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio right here by sweeping out the Monday high, because it was not a clear established high of the week for me, and this was a clear mark make bar model. So I expected price to reach over there, but if you are aware of how I trade, you know that when there is high impact news, I like to go break even or take some partials. So because it was just 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, I decided to just go break even right here. If price could come all the way right here to my break even place, that would invalidate the bias for me, because that would be an expansion met with an expansion to the downside, meaning a reversal. So I set break even before the news, like 2 hours before, and you can see how the 8:30 news release, the price opened high into the weekly open. If you see this candle right here, this was the first candle of the week. Sorry for my drawings are not that clear, and I'm just getting used to using these drawings right here, so bear with me. The price retested the weekly open right here. You can see a yellow line and simply just rejected it. The price didn't reach all the way right here, and by retesting the weekly open, you can see we were reacting off of this daily fair value gap. You cannot know that in advance, so I think I managed this trade well because I just got break even and let the market do its thing. So next, I already did the refraction. This was a clear trade which I can take over and over again. There was nothing wrong with it, and yeah, it happens. So let's go to the NAS 100. What I was looking for is market shorts, and as you can see, it was a counter trend on the what time frame is this? This is the hourly time frame. You can see right here on the here, this was the US 30 and S&P 500 right here. The US 30 and S&P 500 already reached the all-time highs, but the US 100 didn't. So I was expecting at least a retracement towards these lows, the Asian and London lows. So dropping to the lower time frame, even though this was a counter trend in the environment that we are in now, you know that the iPhone, don't even remember its uh, mark, but it was being released. So that tends to happen because the stocks just rallies like crazy. So on the 15-minute time frame, what I based off of my idea for going short was this sweep of external highs and close inside of the range, which happened right here on the 8:30. So I expected 9:30 to distribute lower at least. So that is why I dropped down to the 1 minute time frame to search for my entries. Even though you can see I was targeting these AM session lows and as well as the Asian session. So on the weakest asset, which was the NAS 100. So on the lower time frame, you can see that we made a change in state of delivery right here, but it was kind of weak because we didn't have any fair value gap right here. I noted that, but I still took it market short on the open of 9 a.m. So when 9 a.m. opened, it simply just gyrated. It was like 9 a.m. It gyrated until 9:30, where the price decided to just reach to the all-time highs, sweeping me out right here in the process. But I think I trailed my stops a little bit right here because if you can see objectively right here, because I was kind of the price was kind of getting to my head because I entered market right here, market short, and price just started gyrating all around, chopping. So while you might consider this a chop, what I didn't pay attention to was the fact that if you see right here, let me draw some lines. We made a high and a lower low, a high and a lower low, some kind of downtrend. I entered the market short right here, and then you can see this high getting broken right here. This is why I got my blue line right here. I didn't notice this happening because if you see on the high time frame candles, this was an indecision candle, meaning that I was likely to be swept out. So after the change in state of delivery right here, I should have been out of the market because I ended up being stopped out. The US 100 continued to the all-time highs, and that shouldn't have been good for me. So it was a small loss, and the reason being I didn't go in with the usual percentage because it was a clear counter trend and not in the best conditions, specifically after the CPI release. So I ended up being stopped out, but you see the point. I didn't go scale out after this changing state of delivery to the upside happened simply because this 9 a.m. candle didn't react off of something valid to validate this push higher. It's just that we were in a bullish momentum. Yeah. So this is where I got stopped out, and this was the original idea, targeting these lows. And this is on US 100, of course, and this one was the trade on the USD JPY, which ended up being a break even. Market stopped right here, taking me out, and later on continuing to the downside. So that's all I wanted to share with you, and hopefully you learned something. You can see how much I incurred. So as a cost for the transaction, it was on the 5k account challenge. Not that a big of a deal, especially it's like a cost for me to learn something new. I don't count that as a loss, because counting this as loss is just a double loss, because I lost money and essentially didn't learn anything from it. So it was a cost for my experience, which I now have. Hopefully you learned something, and if you are still finding yourself in this industry and you're learning, you consider joining me right here on this Telegram channel, where I put daily updates on what I'm looking for, how I internalize my market sentiment. And thank you guys for watching till the end, and I thought I'll talk you in the next one. Thanks.